doing EB5 Regional Center?
So I have been in the EB5 industry for over 15 years. Prior to becoming in the EB5 industry, I started actually in the investment banking field of Morgan Stanley and working on the financial markets. And then I was also involved in real estate development for another 10 years. But in the EB5 industry, I have helped over $300 million of EB5 capital raised, managed, and structured.
Okay. You know, a lot of my Chinese investors, like when they contact me, they wanted to get a green card.
Right.
So when they choose the regional center, they say, okay, you know, where is the regional center? What it is? You know, who owns it? And so I know you're doing a new regional center. So where is this new regional center?
So our regional center originally is located in Orange County, California, but we have a great new project located in Oregon.
Oh, the project is in Oregon?
Yes, that's correct. So we have a project in Oregon that we make sure is very safe for all of our clients. The project itself, it's 150 single-family homes. And it's a rural TEA qualified project, which allows all client investors to get priority processing in the EB5. The best part about the project is it is the safest investment where the investors will be secured by the first trust deed of the land and of the single family homes.
Okay, now you talked about priority. Well, we know that right now for EB5, it says current on the USCIS website.
Correct.
So let's say if my potential client wants to invest in this project, from the time they apply to the time they get their conditional green card, how long does it take?
So we have seen priority processing as soon as 3 months to up to 1 year. But the USCIS has stated that rural projects shall receive priority processing over other types of projects in the industry.
Okay. And so this is the rural project. And like how many green cards holder for this particular project?
So there is a 20% allocation for rural projects that are qualified in the EB5 industry. For our project itself, we're only going to be using 26 investors. So that's
26?
Yes.
Okay, that's still a lot.
So 26 investors is what we're using. But in the whole industry for rural, the EB5 visa allocation is 20% for those investors, for the overall market.
I've actually received a lot of calls from my potential clients. They're interested because right now it's difficult to get a status, any kind of legal status, let alone green cards. So when they call me, they say, hey, you know, Attorney Chin, I'm a student right now, I'm at UC Irvine, and I wanted to invest in EB5 to get a green card. So they wanted to know how safe it is to invest. So they wanted to know, okay, after they invest their money in your project, how long does it take for them to get their money back?
Sure, good question. So the current ruling allows for investments must be a sustainment period of 2 years from the time their money is into the project. But for us, what we want to do is make sure that there's no questions by the USCIS. So from the time the investor puts the money into the project, then we have a 4-year term, 4 years from the time that the money's in, where it will then get repaid at the end of 4-year terms. And our repayment is not installments. We will make sure that the investor gets all of their money, $800,000, at the end of 4 years.
All right, I also received questions like sometimes they invest in this project, right? And prior to they receive their green card, and if let's say if they get married or something else happens, or if they decide to go back to China or elsewhere, so they don't want to do this investment anymore, can they withdraw? Can they get their money back at that point?
Yep. So investors are allowed to withdraw, and we do have language in our offering and all of our materials where we allow investors to withdraw, and we will repay their money back. So that's not an issue.
Okay. Can they get their money back if, for some reason, the 526 get rejected?
Yes. Yes. Even if they're especially if their 526 get rejected, we will ensure that they receive their money back. We have no problem with that.
Because it happened with a lot of Chinese investors, you know, they invested 10, 15 years ago,
and
then they're still waiting. They didn't get their money back, they didn't get their green card, so they're looking, they're waiting, so that's why they're shopping around with different.
I completely understand. Yeah, we make sure that all the investors, when they make the investment, if they receive 526 denial, we will return their capital.
So what makes your regional center stand out from other regional centers?
Of course. Well, so what we do is our projects, almost 95 to 98% of the market, almost all EB5 projects, the investors are not in the highest security position. What makes our project stand out in our regional centers, we focus on projects that provide the best chance of 2 things: getting the job creation and getting their money back. And how we do that is for the job creation, we make sure that every project has a bank loan already in place. So the EB5 is not required. If the EB5 does not come in, the project will still continue. That's the first thing of how we make sure that the project creates jobs. All of the financing must be in place. The second thing we do to make sure that all of the investors are safe is we make sure that we look at projects where the investors have the highest security. Highest security is meaning they are the priority of repayment. So we put all of our investors in a first position of repayment. We are either partnered with the bank or we will use the funds to either take over the bank. So one way or another, we have to make sure that the investors are in the safest position. And we make sure that all of our projects do that. So that is what really separates us from 95 to 98% of the market out there.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much for the information. So我呢刚才跟这个 Thomas 就是Thomas 区域中心的老板大概的聊了一下，就是他的这个项目为什么比别人的项目好，或者说他你这个80万投进去，这个钱能不能拿回来，多久能拿回来，多久能拿到绿卡等等。那刚才呢 Thomas 都进行了一个详细的解答那如果说大家有任何疑问，比方说你现在正在考虑是否要做投资移民的话呢，可以找秦苏珊律师楼做一个详细的咨询。